Good morning, friends. One of the things that I learned years ago was from a book. A book is called Inner Victory by David Christensen, and that was actually a textbook for one of my sisters when she was in college. And it talks a lot about so many things, and we'll probably reference them throughout the time because there's so much good stuff in there. But he has this list of progressive behaviors. So the concept is that when we engage in progressive behaviors, it increases our self-esteem. And when we engage in digressive behaviors, it decreases our self-esteem. So I want to go over the progressive list. We'll talk about the digressive list maybe another time. We'll see what the time looks like at the end of this. But just looking at what these are, and again, these all belong to David Christensen, so I'm not taking credit for any of that stuff. So the first one is happy. So they choose to engage in activity or thought processes that are problem solving or completely abandon conscious thought about the issue when we liberate ourselves from where we have the power to be happy. Number two is I am responsible. The instance we take responsibility for how we react to life's experiences and avoid crediting discomfort or even success to fortune, destiny, or the next person is the day we find the freedom to be happy. We have the freedom and responsibility to choose how we react to life. Number three, failure is fertilizer. Failure is part of the process of success, not a terminal outcome. Failure is the fertilizer that produces success. Number four is high self-esteem. Interestingly enough, when we have high self-esteem, it increases our self-esteem. We can work and continue to do the things on the progressive side. So they like themselves. They have the capacity to enjoy living because they are pleased with who they are. Recognizing how low self-esteem affects them motivates them to do something to reverse the self-defeating behavior by scoring a victory or two, even if they're small. Number five is internal focus. We don't depend on others for our self-worth. We have a quiet love affair with ourselves, having an absolute internal attitude. We find ourselves as we define what we believe, how we are uniquely good, and create relationships with others which complement who we are. Number six is decisive. Making decisions more quickly on the basis of moral, spiritual, ethical perspective. Again, this goes back to our values thing. We can't be decisive if we don't know who we are and where we stand. Seven is proactive. Proactivity means we live life because of our capacity to choose our response. Our behavior is a function of our decisions and the choices we make. We are able to choose our response to any stimuli. 8 is love motivated. I love life with all of its challenges, hard times, good times, and surprises. Their sense of service comes from love instead of fear. Number 9 is forgiving. In a real-world sense, we may struggle a bit with the insensitive actions of others. But we're quick to recognize that the energy being expended on some past deed of another person, a past circumstance, or an unfortunate happening is useless at best. They choose to direct their energy toward living today and not in the mistakes and circumstances of the past. And then number 10 is we-focused. They see life as an interdependent exercise where people live together, work together, serve together, and help each other. What we choose to do does affect others. What we do to enhance each other's lives will ultimately make us all better. So being able to recognize those pieces, for me, there are definitely some when I read those that I have not perfected, believe it or not. And here's the thing, the one about forgiving. If we're talking about not living in the past, there's a lot of pain, unresolved trauma, and things like that that interfere with our ability to do that. So paying attention to what are the things that get in the way of me being in my progressive self? Do I talk to myself like when I make a mistake, I'm the worst person ever? Or it's like, oh, I learned something new and I can grow from that. Do I not know who I am and so I can't be decisive? Do I sit around and wait for other people to initiate something when I could very well just initiate something myself? but paying attention to, of those 10 things, which ones are things that I'm really good at? Oh, yeah, I'm really good at loving people. Okay, awesome. Are there things that we could do better? So I encourage you, look at the list, think about it, and tell yourself, hey, what are the things that I could do that could improve this? Now, logic will tell you the digressive things are all the things that are opposite. And so, real quick, number 1, digressive worry. 2, excuse-itis, making excuses. 3, finger pointers, blaming other people. 4, perception of failure. Failure is final. 5 is low self-esteem. 6 is externally focused, looking for other people to validate us. 7, indecisiveness. 8, if I had, then I could syndrome. 9 is reactivity. 10 is fear motivated. 11 is holding grudges. And 12 is eye trouble. And we'll dig into those next time. But I want you to know the good stuff first. Like, what can we do to strive and move forward on that?